as we continue to explore questions regarding what went on in Butler, Pennsylvania during the Donald Trump assassination attempt on July 13th. I'm really delighted to have two additional eyewitnesses with us today. We've got Donna and Joe. Donna, Joe, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you. Yep.
Now, you guys have an amazing story because not only were you eyewitnesses to the event, Donna, you've taken a number of really excellent photographs and many that I just haven't seen from anybody at all before. But before we get into the details of everything, there's really something stunning that you have testified to that I think is maybe one of the biggest deals that hasn't been addressed, in that you personally witnessed people beyond Corey Comparatore, David Dutch, James Copenhaver, and Donald Trump being shot. You've seen additional victims there at the rally. Is that right?
That's correct.
Tell us about that.
So we'll start at the beginning. Sitting there, we were watching President Trump talk, and we hear the first three pop, pop, pop sounds. At that point, you can imagine what just starts to happen. There's chaos. Joe had said on that third shot to get down. So we were in a bleacher. This is in front of our bleacher. So Trump would be like to the right. I'd have to turn my head and watch Trump this way. So what happened was we hear those three shots. When we heard those three shots, Joe had us getting down on that third shot. As this is happening, the people in the bleachers, we were in the third row. So the people up top, now mind you, these bleachers weren't big. Ours were not big. The picture you're showing, our bleachers are not in this. They were. That's the angle one. We're over here, Joe.
So let's stay on this for a second, because this is important. This is a post that you've put on Facebook, right? This is kind of important. I just want to make sure people understand this and that I understand it. So we're looking at, this is an image published, I think, in the New York Post after the shooting. Everybody has cleared out. And what you've pointed out with this arrow is you guys were seated over here looking directly at Trump. So you were not in the bleachers where Corey Comparatore and these other people are.
No, they were. That's where you had to get this guy in the suit to bring you.
We had to get the guy in the suit to go over there. We were right here.
In here, Joey.
Yeah, we were. I was looking at the screen behind us. Yes, we were.
So where is it that you guys were?
Trump, right? This is Trump on this.
This is the sound and the media right here in the middle. Trump was standing right here in the red box. Where would you guys say that you were?
We wanted to sit here. Remember I said to you, I want the guy to sit us there.
What happened?
So you guys were in here, right? Somewhere? Joe, what do you think?
I lost you. Okay, I lost you. There you go.
You got me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Joe, where do you say you guys were seated?
I say we were in those bleachers.
Right here that are missing.
Yeah.
The missing
There were bleachers there. So, but the arrow is pointing to the proper section. Let's go back to some of the photos that you took, because we can see.
Exactly.
Everyone's right, there's the other bleachers across the way.
Right, across the way. Exactly.
So you've got the right spot.
Those pictures that you're showing right now are in the area where you wait to go in and see Trump. I was just showing pictures in there of the area. And then this is, of course, really me just taking a picture straight out of it. Where's Trump?
Mm-hmm.
And that one actually, that's my crowd shot, because I wanted to show all the people that couldn't even really get in and how deep it was. So this picture is our crowd shot.
Mm-hmm. And so you witnessed, one of the reasons why I wanted to contact you and felt that this was such an important conversation to have. So here we get a good idea of where you guys were seated, because we see the flag hanging and we see the bleachers and one of these signs. So this is sort of basically where you were.
On the side. Yeah, we were on the side though. We're definitely on the side, because what happened, there was those three boards. There was one behind Trump. There was one over on to the right of him over the media. And then there was one behind us. We have one behind us.
Wow.
So if you
here's the water tower.
Go to the pictures of the people in the bleachers laying down. You see the board. You'll see the king, that board.
Here's a great one. You took a panorama. So this is an iPhone panorama that you used?
That's from where we are. Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So there you go. You can clearly see
Perfect.
a lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
So that's where we were. So at this point, so here's what happened. You have 3 shots. You had us heading down to hit the ground. As we're hitting the ground, obviously there's a lot going on, but the people above us in the bleachers were yelling for medics and for help because there was people shot. So those people were shot in the first or second shot because they were already yelling for medics before other shots went off. So we now have a man and a woman down in our section. They're in the, I don't know, what do you think? There's 12 rows, maybe in the 10th row-ish.
Yeah, towards the top,
Towards the
definitely.
top, for sure. So they're down. Now we're on the ground. Of course, I'm down there with these people because that's where I took my picture, from the ground. This guy right here in the green shirt, he was one who me and Joey were going to take off and leave.
That guy in the flannel, that's
That's
about where the people
They're
were shot.
That guy in that flannel's looking at.
So these are the bleachers you were seated in, right?
Yeah, and like I said, right where that guy is, he's looking at someone that's down, like they were all trying to help them.
So there's someone shot right here, you're saying?
No, not
Up-
her.
up-
She's just laying underneath.
up where the
Up
flannel
top,
guy
the
is.
that pink flannel shirt. Him.
Up here there's someone shot.
That's
Yeah.
where they're all looking back at the people that got shot.
And that's not Corey Comparatori, David Dutch, or
Nope.
James
Oh,
Copenhagen.
and as you know by seeing me on the news, we thought at the time it was Corey because that man was dead. At least we think, right,
Well,
Joe? We think.
Here's my thing. So we had 2 people down our section. One was carried on a stretcher. The other had a towel over his head and was carried by one arm and one leg. Not by his
Oh.
arms and legs. One arm, one leg, and just left to dangle.
Seems
you don't
dead.
carry someone, you
Right.
don't carry someone alive out like that.
Correct. I agree
Like if
with that.
someone's alive, you're not going to put a towel over their head and just carry them by one arm and one leg.
So that's
No,
why we
they'd be
thought
careful with a
Corey in our
stretcher.
section.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So
now
back to
I
your
go-
photos.
Now we go home and we watch the news that night, right? And you hear about Corey, so we obviously made that assumption it was Corey because we're pretty sure clear this person's gone. Now I watched a documentary, told Joey to watch it, I don't know, about a month ago, and we find where Corey was sitting in the grandstands behind the president.
Yeah.
So now it's like, here we go again. Who are these people? Who were they? The lady went right by us on the golf cart. The woman did. She went right by us.
Yeah.
And then the 4 pictures that I have that you're getting to right there so all those pictures of the yard were taken behind those bleachers. Now, Corey is, what's the guy's name? Not Corey, Crooks. Crooks is supposedly across from us. Where that media is shown in that first picture. That's where those buildings are. So they're across from us.
Yeah, this is where they took the guy that was clearly dead. They took him right to this field that was right
this
behind the
field.
bleachers.
Yeah. And if you go to the other picture where they're around him, Joey said, Mom, snap this picture. That's where the guy is.
This?
Not that one. Nope. Next one.
There's the golf cart. Oh, this.
That's it. That's the picture. So we're there. That's the picture.
So this doesn't look like an ambulance EMT. Who is this guy?
No idea.
No idea either.
Some kind of military
bodies
EMT.
around him, so you can't really see the body, but that's where he was.
That's exactly where he was.
Like I said, they brought him out, one arm, one leg, and they just dragged him right into that field.
Wow. And I've heard nothing about any victims apart from the 4 people that we've been discussing.
Yes. And as I've been hearing the victims, if I can find them, I've been writing to them. I asked them, where were you sitting? I do get answers. And, so far I've gone, the woman, there's nothing ever about this woman. We don't know if she lawyered up or what, but nothing.
Just to clarify, you're talking about 2 different people. This person here was the man who Joe just said was carried by one arm. The woman that you're talking about, I had seen a news broadcast, Donna, where you said you saw a woman with your own eyes who you perceived as having been shot in the hand or the arm. And that was consistent with evidence that John Cullen has found of a bullet going across the back row and shooting something like 3 people simultaneously, including a woman who appears to drop a cell phone or a drink or something. Tell us about that detail.
She was carried out on a stretcher. I mean, that looked like a normal person getting carried. Just carried on a stretcher. She was put on the back of a golf cart, and they
and ouch, just
Yeah, they just
gone.
drove her to an ambulance. And
Yeah. And the thing is if one bullet hit all them, again, those 3 pops, we still feel they came from behind us. Do you still feel that way?
yeah, definitely.
You know, and everybody's saying, oh, you can't tell where a gun's coming from. Dang, you can in some sense. When you're out there in that open air, you don't look left, right, front, or back.
When you have 200 people in the same stand, all look behind them, like...
Something's going on, I agree. Before we move off of the woman with the hand injury, Joe, what did you see about her on the stretcher that caused you to think she was shot in the hand?
Just blood going up and down her arm and hand.
Her arm.
Yeah, they had her wrapped up and there's just blood on her hand. So.
And no one's mentioned this woman's name. Was she with anybody? And you guys aren't from Butler. Don't tell us where you're from, but you're not locals, correct?
Correct.
I saw a couple of news things when I first hit saying a woman, but then they quickly just switched to 2 men about a day later.
Really?
Well, and what I don't, if you really want to talk about I don't mean to switch the subject, but if you all remember on the first night we came home, what about Home Depot and the ladder? They showed the ladder on the news. Where's the ladder? Now all of a sudden the guy climbed an air conditioner. How do you take Home Depot and a ladder completely out of the subject?
Absolutely. I called that Home Depot and there were problems with what they were reporting in the initial report. I want to go back to this photo because some of the people in our comments are saying, oh, that's not where you guys were sitting and this and that because there are no bleachers here. But to clarify, Donna, what does this picture show us? Time frame and everything.
So in this picture, so where I'm pointing, that's where people were standing. I mean, guys, it was an arrow on a phone. I'm not, you've seen my drawing. But okay, you see this white building?
Yes.
We would have been in front before the white building, closer to the stage and closer to that angle. Really, where Trump got carried out. You go look at that angle. Yeah, where Trump got carried out, right there. It's before this white building is all where the bleachers were.
So if I understand you correctly, we see...
You can almost see those bleachers where the grass was.
So you're saying we see 1, 2, 3 sets of bleachers here, and you're saying there was at least another one on this side that is not shown in this photograph where all these satellite trucks are and everything.
That's correct. At least, and there was 2 sets because when I say we were in the 3rd row, first 2 seats, that was where the bar was, but there was a bar, next to it, and there was people in those bleachers going towards closer to Trump. So we were somebody said there was 3 sets there. I didn't go all the way down close to Trump. I was in the 3rd set. So,
there's 1 or 2 at least. And Joe, you concur with that? Do you agree with what your mom remembers?
I mean, I thought we were in the other ones, but I guess so.
But there were bleachers here, and you guys were in the bleachers, and now they're gone from the photo. Is that correct by your recollection?
Yeah, we were around that area.
So it's odd that these bleachers would be removed and these other ones haven't been, right?
Well, and you're looking, and when you look at where our area is, right across there is the media. That's what that big blue thing is, or it's sort of bluish. Yeah, that's where the media was sitting in there. So go right across from there. That's where I would, if I took a picture right across from me, that's what I got the media. That's where the bleachers were.
And so you're saying that you had a sense that, on this particular image, the shooter on the roof that they have told us is Thomas Crooks, although they've not provided any evidence that Crooks was even there that day. He's off in this direction where it says approximately 130 yards. You guys are on the opposite side of the field here, and you're saying you detected bullets coming from behind you.
That's correct. And that's why I've been trying to find these people. Did you get shot from behind is the question to these people when we find them.
And what have they answered?
I can't find them.
You're saying the people we're talking about now who have been shot. Right. I get it. Now, there's another thing that came up that I had posted here on X that I wanted to show people. So you had pointed out to me this guy, Todd, and Todd put this post on. Actually, you sent me this as a screen capture. I don't know where this post, I guess maybe Facebook, but it seems to be gone. Right. And he's saying, I posted this picture last week and I had to take it down. I was interrogated at 10 o'clock at night, the same night of the Trump rally at his home because of what he witnessed and because of what he recorded. Now, I guess he's deleted this, so I don't know. As you can see at 6:07, this man, he's talking about Art Vistham, he's an ABC News cameraman. And I find this odd that he's using this Easy Rig. This is a piece of equipment that is strapped onto your back like a backpack, and what it is intended to do is to take the weight of a heavy camera and translate it to your hips and waist, so it is below your back and the center of gravity. It's just supposed to make it easier to operate. I just find this to be a very awkward piece of equipment. I hate them. I haven't really been a news photographer, but it's strange to me. I don't know. Everybody's got their own quirky way of doing things, but I don't usually see ENG, electronic news gathering, using this piece of equipment. So it is a little bit odd, but there are some quirky, nerdy video and film people who like it. And some people were saying that this guy actually fired at Trump. I see no evidence of that, and I find that ridiculous. The thing that's interesting to me about Art Vistham is that nobody has seen him or heard from him in the 6 or 7 weeks since this occurred. Do you know anything about this guy?
Nothing.
Nothing. I got this from talking to somebody else who was at the rally. And of course, she actually told me to look at this guy's page. So when I looked at his page and seen all this and what she was showing me, and this person who said this to me is the one who shared that TikTok with showing our section and where we were. So she said she was like, he is the one who did it. And I actually wrote to her this morning to talk to her. She's in Johnstown. She's at the Trump rally. She said, I'll watch this later, she said. She goes, I'm in Johnstown. So I was going to actually follow up with her a little bit about this to find out more, because she seemed to talk to Todd and she seems to know him. Now, I will say, I went on Todd's Facebook page. You got to scroll for about 9 years. Then you can get down to July. And I think that post is still there. You just had to scroll for.
Okay. All right, I'll take another look for it. Hopefully we can speak to him. There's no doubt that there's going to be social engineers who will attempt to disrupt that. I find that behavior disgusting, because you guys, you could have been killed easily, obviously. People were just getting shot at. People were killed. And we can't have this kind of like thuggery where if you don't like the person running for president, you just shoot them and then lie about it to cover it up. It's like a devolution of the United States into some kind of dangerous place that we don't want it to become.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. I never seen this guy. I was not aware of him. So like I said, we felt like the shots came from behind.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we were on the ground, we felt then it was the snipers.
Yeah.
Lose track. I mean, would you go with that?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I remember hearing the shots. I remember looking up behind us. I remember everybody else looking behind us. And I remember when Secret Service came, because they came up in our bleachers because we had people down, and everyone was telling them that he climbed up the bleachers. He climbed up the bleachers. I just remember a bunch of people just screaming and telling them
who climbed up the bleachers. They don't know.
Shooter. They kept yelling that he was back behind our bleeder. I mean, we were freaking, because you're thinking, is this guy that close? He's close to us. You're freaking out. It's a, my panoramic video, I don't know if you have that, but that would show exactly where we're sitting, because I stood right there and went around the whole dang building.
And those first 3 shots too, they didn't sound like a rifle. They sounded like a pistol.
Really?
They sounded like a pistol going off behind. It did not sound like a rifle to me at all.
And are you a shooter, Joe? Do you go hunting or use guns?
I don't hunt, but I do use guns. I own 2 rifles, 2 shotguns, and 3 pistols. So
you got some experience.
Yeah, he has shot quite a bit with his grandfather.
Okay, great. So this is exactly where you guys
there
were,
you
right
go.
here in the bleachers.
Exactly. We couldn't be here if I'm taking a picture from there.
And that's where Trump was standing.
Mm-hmm.
And so which bleachers did you see the woman with the shot arm? It was this one, kind of right next to you here, right?
Ours, behind us.
Oh,
ours.
Whoa.
They were shot in our section.
Yeah, most of the people shot were right next to each other.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, they were next to each other but didn't know each other from what we heard. Just that's what the bullet went. Whether it was
wow. So see all these calculations.
What's that?
All these calculations that everybody has been doing has been based on 3 sets of bleachers, and you're telling us that there's an entirely other set of bleachers that was in a different place that people didn't even...
That is why when everybody talks about this, I just shut down, because I'm like, until you tell me my bleachers and those first 2 shots, you're lying. Period.
Wow.
You're lying.
Wow. Wow. I
I'll
mean,
go on my sword on that.
this is mind-blowing. I mean, obviously, you guys have no reason at all to, first of
Make
all,
it up.
even talking about this, there's like no benefit to you whatsoever. It's not
No.
like you're writing a book or whatever. This is such a weird.
And in this photo, you can see the two bleachers with the TVs, and then you can obviously see us elevated. Like there's the guy next to us, he's elevated, and
Right.
goes down. So we're in another bleacher section.
Right.
I don't doubt you at all. It's just amazing how, yeah, you got a whole other
Yeah, but there's
LED
the one
screen
bleacher
on
section
yours.
with the TV stand, because that's at a completely different angle than what we're sitting at. You can see.
Right.
Yep.
So here's the flag.
Yep.
Here's Trump.
Yep. And that flag, Trump wasn't on the stage yet. The flag had gotten all twirled up, and they had speakers come on before Trump does. Everybody started screaming, "Fix the flag, fix the flag." And it went into this big chant. And that's when I didn't send you a 4-minute video, but they're fixing the flag because it's just all up in the air. There's
And then,
nothing.
so this is the media tent here, right? We can sort of just see the edge of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So American Glass
From our
would be
seat,
off.
tell me, where do you see where I could see Crooks's building? Where do you
Well,
see where you could have shot me from where we're sitting?
Well, that's the thing. American Glass is off here to the left.
Exactly.
It's
Do
very
you see a water
strange.
tower that could have shot us? Mm-mm.
Actually, it's right there.
Oh, the water tower. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. There's the water tower. My bad.
Where's the water tower?
Over a little more.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah. I don't know, but we say they came from behind us.
I must say, like I said,
And now you got the water tower. Well, he wasn't up there yet, maybe because Trump hadn't come to stage yet. I don't know.
I don't know
can't
that
see-
we've seen any evidence of somebody on the water tower. Have you guys seen evidence?
No.
Just
No.
somebody said that. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're showing some black spot. And I'm like, that doesn't prove that's a human. That could be anything. It's not
I
a
think
human.
it's just a shadow. Yeah.
I do too. I do too. How are you
Yeah.
going to get on that water tower? Where are you going to stand? You're going to slide off.
Well, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, you guys are raising so many more issues that open up questions that haven't even been addressed yet. And we've seen a lot of evidence that any commentary about the water tower was at best kind of like planted by people who seem to be on the ground disseminating bunk information just to confuse, eyewitnesses like yourselves. Because if someone just screams out, "Oh, the guy ran up the bleachers," maybe other people there are going to start screaming that, and you leave with the impression that, oh, somebody was running up the bleachers, but we don't actually know that.
Right.
yeah,
That's
like
right.
I said, from what
Right.
we
We
heard-
didn't see, unfortunately, we did not witness anything like that. Yeah.
We just heard him saying they climbed up the back.
Right. And man, that's when the hair on my back of my neck went up. You have no idea. Because then it's like, oh my God.
Like I
this
said,
is
it
so-
does make sense because we thought it was behind us. Like I said, it sounded like a pistol going off behind us.
And again, those 4 pictures in the yard behind our bleachers when everything should be behind Trump and on the other side. Why? Why is all that back there in our yard?
Yeah, we had a
the
bunch
yard.
of cars.
So right
and-
behind those bleachers, those 4 pictures in the yard is where everything got taken. Because as soon as we
Right there.
got evacuated
there was a bunch
and I
of-
got out from the bleachers, you could just snap the pictures as you walked out.
Yeah, there's a bunch of armor cars and security back there, and
Pretty quick too. Pretty quick.
And this is the mysterious gray suit guy. I find
Yeah.
when people do this with their hand, they're talking about something they don't want other people to hear or see
Something's
their
up
lips
with the guy.
moving and everything.
Yeah, something was up with this guy. I don't know
Really
who he
interesting.
is. I've had people ask me. I just snapped these pictures as we were walking out, just to snap more. And this is
Yeah.
again right on our bleacher section. We still had to walk all the way out, get to the parking lot. So this is right there
yeah,
And
this is
do you-
as soon as we left our bleachers.
behind them.
Yep.
A lot of
Uh-huh.
activity behind those bleachers for no
Because
shooters
I remember
over
we
there.
looked because after hearing everyone say he climbed at the back and then just jumped off, we were like, "Can we see the shooter? Is he dead back there?" Like,
Wow.
And there's all these armored cars and security back there.
And what about the trees? We've heard people saying
Oh.
that the police.
The trees, the trees.
Everyone felt something off.
Everybody. I was meeting Joey because I had to go to the sick bay for an hour because of the heat. And when I was walking down, I'm like looking in all the trees going, I'll make sure there's nothing in these. And I'm like, oh my God, there's too many trees. And then Joey, I had to call him. And I'm like, as I was walking to him, he goes, Mom, I'm right by the John Deere. And I'm like, well, so am I. And he goes, what color? I go, I forget who was by what color. I go, green and yellow. And he goes, I'm by the white and black one. I'm like, oh, okay. And as I looked at the white and black one, I thought, gosh, somebody could be in there. I go, oh, it's probably protection. And I didn't see anybody in there, but I thought to myself, wow, somebody could be in there. And I thought, well, that would be protection.
Wow.
Not thinking anything else, of course. And then went to the seat that Joe got for us.
Did you notice the clothing that the injured woman was wearing? Was it a gray shirt or a flowered shirt? Do you remember?
I feel like it was bland, navy gray.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah, it wasn't bright. Not a gray or navy.
I want to think dark gray. I don't know.
Yeah, not sure.
Mm-hmm.
A lot happening.
Absolutely.
I felt like she was in jean shorts.
Yeah,
I felt like she was in jean shorts.
Kind of worried about staying alive at that point.
Of course. I mean, that's the thing. It's a tense situation. I mean, it's so helpful, the testimony that you guys are giving us. Has the FBI or the police or anybody contacted you?
Yes.
Yeah.
We both spoke to the FBI, no police.
What was that like?
Mine was pretty short and sweet. They didn't really think what I had to say was very important. I told them at the end, would you like my opinion? They said yes. I said to them, I feel this was either two separate assassination attempts, like one didn't know about the other, because that's how you walked out of there. I said, or this was bigger and this was a massacre, and our bleachers were the decoy bleachers because those first two shots were done in our bleachers. I said that was going to have everybody turn back, and while they turned back, that gave everybody else an open view on
distraction.
Shoot Trump. I also told them I don't trust you, and I feel that the deep state's involved. And then they asked me for my address.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Joe. Joe, I think you talked a little longer than me.
Yeah. I just told him about the person behind us. I basically said it sounded like there was a pistol going off behind us, about how everybody was screaming behind the bleachers. He climbed up the back of the bleachers, and then about all the security that was back there.
But was there any conversation about this other woman that you saw get shot? Was she wearing a hat or anything like that? I mean, did they ask you about this woman? Did they say anything about the fact that we're not...
About her.
They didn't say anything about her.
It's weird, right?
And when you bring those two people up, I felt like I got scuffled over.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you feel. They just moved right on. Think about this. Those bleachers are gone. This was a crime scene, and it showed that I think I seen one picture that had yellow tape around it. But after that, those are gone. There was blood on those bleachers. If this man was dead, it's a legitimate murder scene.
Yeah.
They just whip out Corey. They whip out whoever this guy is.
We were the first ones to get evacuated.
Yeah,
like
we
before
were
Corey's section.
We were out first.
So it's almost like they want you out of there so they can get rid of the evidence, Joe. Right?
Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And then and I kept looking for the bleachers all the time on the news. And I understand there's some that are just, screenshots of what they do. I get that. I know the difference. But when they were showing the live shots, oh, the news or senators were out here, I'm like, yeah, well, you didn't see our bleachers because they're not there. And it's just mind-boggling to me. I can't even fathom that they don't want to address these bleachers and what happened. And you see the pictures where we are. They're there. My camera shows me where we are. Shan's TikTok video shows where we are, because the proof of her TikTok video is that her video shows there's a seat and it's the first two people. Okay, you see that guy sitting with the green hat? We are in we are in front of him. And there's a picture of me and Joe. You could see him behind us. He kneed me like 17 legitimately times. 17. I finally had to turn around and sort of give him a look. So that's where we were. Joe and I were down. This woman in the red hat, we sat with her. Yeah. I knew her. But we were there, and the guy in the red hat was sitting right next to Joey. So with the black shirt and the red hat was next to Joey or you at that time, because we kept switching out of 1 and 2 seats. But that's exactly where we were. And in Shan's TikTok video, it shows that seat is empty from 2 people, and that's me and Joey. We're on the ground already. Yeah, because
I grabbed her hand, and I just basically just brought us right to the ground floor.
Yeah. Wow. So that's exactly where we were.
Really unbelievable. Let me see if I can find that.
There's enough pictures for proof of that, like I said, because of the guy behind me. I snapped a couple selfies and he's back there. But and this is where, again, nothing is being addressed. And they took those bleachers away. And anytime I'm on the news and they start talking about this, I just walk out of the room because I don't need any more hot air blowing up my ass.
Yeah. It's really interesting. Did you have any thoughts about maybe contacting a lawyer when the FBI wanted to talk to you?
I didn't even think about that. No, I didn't. No.
Yeah, I mean, you guys didn't do
I felt
anything
like they
wrong.
just
You
more
just
wanted a testimony, and they probably weren't happy when we didn't give them
They wanted to
what
hear.
their story was, you know. But
Yeah, there were just found two more people that know more than they want us to know, is how I feel. So
well, that might be just
we're going to
it.
get shoved under the rug.
Right. They're
they
interviewing
don't.
you. If you said the wrong thing, then they might have become more interested in you, and perhaps they just figure, okay, whatever these people saw, we can easily gloss over.
What I think.
And they'll just make us look crazy like they do with everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. But
Well, that's just it.
There's the proof.
Yeah. They just want to audit what you guys know. It's really super interesting. I mean, I wonder if there's anything else that you guys saw or experienced that you want to share with us. I'm looking through some of the chat comments right now and seeing if people have any questions.
Actually going through security, you know, at the metal detectors. I just want to say I've been through stricter security just at a concert. Like it was nothing really at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like you're going to see a president, you expect to get patted down or something, you know.
Yeah.
You just
Did you
walk
go through a
metal
magnetometer?
You just walked through a metal detector.
That's it.
Standard metal detector went right on with your day.
Now, when we seen Trump in 2016 at the Cavelli Center in Youngstown, there we went through. You got the bar, the metal bar
Right.
down your body on the outline.
I would
There
say
you
got
did.
patted down too there.
He didn't pat me, but he might have patted you. But yeah, I got the metal bar. But this security, no, I was going through that security sick as a dog because when I got up there, that's when the heat had gotten to me, and I had said I need to get to I needed medic, and I just put my phone like slammed it on the table sort of because the lady's like, well, she says go to the side. I go, no, I'm going through that because I was going through security after waiting 19 hours in a hot field. So I got through there, and then it was nothing. I mean, the cop got in front of my face of the security guy because I was going to the shade where maybe he didn't want me to go, and I looked at him. I go, no, son. I was done. I couldn't take it. I go, no, son. And then that's when he goes. They said, okay, you go under this tree, and we're going to send somebody to you. And I told Joe, I said, you get in there and get our seats because we knew there was only 3,000 seats. We had heard that when we were waiting to go through security because workers said that. So we caught wind of only 3,000 seats. I said to him, you get in there and get our seats. I'm going to be fine. I says, I'll call you when I'm out of this and come down. And that's why I was calling him to meet him. But he had separated, and Joey said to me, you know, we're known to be people that go to the top of the bleachers. I like the last bleacher because of my back. I like that support. God forbid. And he said, Mom, I didn't go any further because you were sick. I didn't want to go make you climb up steps. And so, you know, there's a lot of personal scenarios that played out that day that we think,
now, wait a minute. So you were able to make cell phone calls. What time was that approximately? Because people have told us that the cell phone reception was shut off.
Yeah,
so that was
between 1 and 2.
Yeah, between 1 and 2.
They let us in the gate at 1, and I think I was in the medics like 45 minutes.
Reception stopped around 3:30. I want to say.
Yeah, that's when we started hearing
when the speakers started coming on is when reception stopped.
That's when people were saying it more. Yeah, I didn't really try it. I was just trying to snap pictures or whatever I was doing at the time. But yeah, that's when about 3:30. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, I don't know. There's so much that we still need to find out. I really do appreciate you guys coming on the show. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to ask that we haven't thought of yet. We got a lot. Will you guys go to the next rally?
Yeah, I mean, I just think about, you know, like Crooks. I don't know if you've seen something I picked up on, but they have pictures of him. They post him walking through the event, and then they show the pictures of him laying off there on the ceiling. Well, who would stop and tuck their shirt in before they go to do an assassination? I mean,
there's a lot of problems.
Shirt tucked in. Who does that?
Including, I don't think we've seen valid evidence that Thomas Crooks was even there that day. I mean, you know, you're talking about this video, I'm trying to find it here, where, you know, he's walking among the vendors. It's very strange because that was published by a guy named Ironclad, and they made a big deal out of telling us that this person that they claimed was Thomas Crooks was walking around the venue at 4:26 p.m. But then they realized that this photo was allegedly taken at 4:26 p.m. And so how could he be at the picnic table and the vendor area at the same time? Additionally, this photo, this guy has got skinny little arms, like a very wafy, maybe 20-year-old, but he does not look like I don't know if beefy is the right term, but the other guy walking down the street in front of the vendors looks much more like a 37-year-old, much more like the body of an adult man. This looks like a late blooming teenager to me. And this person has a very distinctive sharp chin and strong underbite, which I do not see in other known pictures of Thomas Crooks. But this weird guy who shows up in some videos at the Butler rally does also have a distinctively sharp chin that causes me to believe that this photo is a photo composite of the top of Thomas Crooks's head, and below these glasses, I think it's this guy's face. The reason for doing that would be to create a composite photo that can't be positively identified as one person or the other, and really serves just to confuse. We're told that this photograph was texted by Greg Nickel. And there's a lot of weird language around that explanation. They don't exactly say that he took the picture, although maybe somebody said he took the picture. He definitely says he texted the picture, and we have not seen the HEIC file from the phone. We've just seen, there he is. There's the guy. Woke Lawyer initially identified this guy. He's got a Secret Service kind of microphone on his lapel. He doesn't look like an ordinary rally goer, and he's got a pin on his lapel, which would seem to indicate affiliation with, I don't know, some law enforcement thing.
Shady. But what I will say about that picture is that day, all Secret Service people were in navy or blue. There was nobody in a tan suit. I didn't see anybody. They all had on the navy and white shirts, it seemed like. That's what all the pictures even
There's a
show.
couple in black, but I don't
Couple
know.
in black.
Yeah.
I mean, a tan suit, that's bizarre. And where he is, isn't that behind the stage? Because I know that white tent is Trump's tent. So
I
he's
think
lurking.
so. Yeah.
He's lurking around that.
It's very strange. It's
Oh,
very
yeah.
strange. So here we've got,
there he is. Yep.
yeah, this is the video of him walking around. And it just, do these arms look like the same arms we saw on that skinny guy by the picnic table? I mean, to me, this video of
Bigger
him
there,
walking
yeah.
looks like Maxwell Yerrick walking. We know face replacement. You can do it on your phone. You can take a Tom Cruise movie and put your face on there. And if you pick an actor that you look like, it's going to be convincingly looking like your face. Additionally, they've said that the father, Matthew Crooks, has retained Quinn and
Heard that.
I forget the name of the law firm, but it's a big fancy law firm. And the thing is, he seems to be entering the place with a person who is dressed up like the Invisible Man in the middle of July in the heat. And it really just makes no sense to me unless that person is Thomas Crooks in disguise and that he's going there because Thomas Crooks needs legal representation now that this whole thing didn't work out the way they expected it to. Now, this video is the police cruiser recording the sound and video outside American Glass Research 2 minutes after the shooting. Greg Nickel, the same guy who we're told sent that crazy photograph, he comes walking out, and it's 2 minutes after a laser has appeared in the window. We really don't know what was going on in that room. I'm scrolling through Twitter here frantically. I hope not to annoy people, but I'm looking for some content that will illustrate what I'm talking about. I don't know. What is any of this stuff that I'm sharing with you? How do you guys feel about this?
No, I haven't seen a single clear picture of Thomas Crooks' face at the rally.
Correct.
It's shots that are to the side or the back of his head or one that's a million miles away and it's blurry as hell.
And I find it interesting that when they did show him up there on the ground dead, right after them on the news, why is his face blurred out? Why always blurring out the face? You can watch movies that are as graphic as crap with all the violence. I'll watch the news, and sometimes the newsman will say, "Warning, this may be graphic," and then they'll still show it, but not for this. Why we got his face all blurry? That's another sign.
I haven't seen a single clear photo of Crooks' face there.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's just side profiles and a million miles away or
you have that laser picture up. I seen.
Yeah. I could show that again, but I agree with what you're both saying, and I would add to it that not only have we not seen a clear picture of Thomas Crooks, every picture we have seen has been of him looking unusually young, maybe 15. And then now all of a sudden we see this. This is the first thing we've seen that looks like a remotely older version of the very young looking Thomas Crooks that we've seen. And so if you were trying to fool everybody and for the first 5 weeks show a bunch of pictures of this kid looking young and say, well, this is from high school from 2 or 3 or 4 years ago, and then now we see him when he's 20, someone who's not as informed as we are might look at that and say, well, yeah, that does look like him, but a little bit older. Okay, this is normal. But that would be another reason for reserving images of the guy and controlling how they're released to really sort of shape people's perception of who this guy is and what he looks like. I mean, think about this in your own life. Sometimes when you meet someone and you see them and you haven't met them that many times, you go to meet them again, you're like, oh, I didn't quite recognize that person. They have a different hat on or they look slightly different. It takes a little bit of exposure to a person to really get a feel for what they look like sometimes.
Yeah.
From what I heard is, like I said, this is what I heard, I don't know, but the media is purposely showing younger pictures of Crooks to somewhat garner sympathy, make him look like a young kid that was confused and stuff. And that's why I heard you never seen any recent pictures of 20-year-old Crooks. You only ever see 15-year-old Crooks.
I agree, but that's weird.
Wait a minute.
Because
just look at those two pictures right there. One has a shirt tucked in, one doesn't.
Yeah, they're saying that it's not actually tucked in, it's just lifted up. And so it looks like it's tucked in because they were searching his pockets or something. But there are a lot of weird things about these photos. And I mean, I agree with what Joe just said, but why? I mean, this is a guy who's supposed to be hated because he tried to shoot.
I know, why are we trying to garner sympathy for an assassin?
Right. It doesn't make sense. Now, another question. Did you guys hear any bullets hitting like that thing that was leaking hydraulic fluid or any of the equipment around you?
Oh, remember that thing that hit it and then it
Yeah,
fell?
I didn't hear where any of the bullets landed.
No, we did see that hit and fall though, right? I remember hitting that.
I didn't
It was like
see
a boom up there and then that thing fell.
I didn't see it. I was
Oh, you
looking
didn't see it?
I was
just
looking
did
at the
that.
ground and behind us.
Other than that though, that's all I seen. Yeah, that was, and I feel like that, I don't remember when that came when you were trying to get me down.
No, exactly.
A lot going on in that moment. That was a bad time. Yeah.
And I agree. That hydraulic lift dropping, like even when I saw the videos, it took like 2 viewings to understand what the hell I was looking at because I don't hang out with machines like that. And it's just like, why is this thing moving suddenly? Oh, it got shot and it's leaking.
Yeah. It's like there were shots coming from behind this way. They were coming at all angles. It was getting serious because people in the beginning weren't really catching on. We were immediately, like Joey said, ours was the first one evacuated. We had the first people down. So we were in tune right from the very, very get-go.
Yeah.
There's other people that I was even like, how are these people looking so casual? Aren't they, but they're not experiencing what we were experiencing. I still don't understand why you would stand when you're shots anyway, but whatever it all that. I can't, explain how everybody reacts, but I just don't understand that there were people that didn't get it. And then that we had so much going on. And then you have a video where everybody in that video is pointing to our section. And then all of a sudden, and again, it's just like, it was never, like it's never happened. It's like it never happened in our section.
Now, you're talking about feeling like bullets are coming from all around. And it brings me back to yet another thing. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this term, a 3-dimensional kill box, but this refers to a military tactic that involves the triangulation of fire, where, if Trump is in the middle and you've got people around him shooting inward towards the center and they're at various elevations so they aren't shooting each other, the idea is they create a zone around the target where the fire converges and it makes it much more likely that the target will not survive. This is consistent with what you're saying of hearing bullets coming from all around you, and it's something that I would expect to be in place at a planned, military-style assassination like this.
Okay, never heard of it.
Something to think about.
Yeah, definitely. Makes sense.
Listen,
Good.
I was gonna say the first 3 shots I could tell you came from behind, but after that I couldn't tell you if it was left or right or front of us or where it was.
It was scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. When that sniper was on the stage, I thought he was just going to start shooting at all of us. It was because he's like in the audience. Well, why are you in the audience if it's all going on over here then? So how did
Yeah,
the actual sniper doesn't even know? So he's pointing out at us. I mean, there's videos and pictures of the snipers on the stage in the audience. I get they're probably looking at all angles, but
Yeah, he was scanning for the crowd.
yeah, that's scary. Are you really the sniper or are you just going to start shooting at us? At this point, you don't trust anybody.
But it certainly suggests that they had some reason to believe that there was also fire coming from someplace other than just the roof of American Glass Research.
That's exactly right.
Like I said, when 2 gunmen stormed the stage or on the military, one was looking in our direction, the other one was looking sort of where Crooks would have been, but like, in the crowd though, not over there, but in the crowd. They were both just looking in the crowds on both sides.
Yeah. And that's when everybody started yelling over there, and they started looking at our way more. It happened, and this is real stuff. And like you said, we're real people, and I watch all newses because I want to hear a little bit. I don't like to give the other side too much of my time, but I do want to hear what they'll say. Nobody will address it, and we're on so many stations. We talked about this. We explained where we sat, and then everybody would write, "Oh, they were behind Trump." It's like, who did that?
Yeah, we were not behind Trump.
Behind Trump.
So wait a minute.
behind him.
When you went on, because I saw you on a news interview, but yeah, it didn't mention anything about the bleachers and all that. So did you say that and they cut it out of certain interviews? Wow.
Probably.
The only thing we said is if you're looking at the stage, we were to the right of Trump. And for whatever reason, a lot of them said we were behind Trump.
Yeah.
No idea why.
Even on a write-up that one girl did, the Sarah Smart with CNN, she did a whole write-up, and I actually happen to know the family. That's how she got to me, because it all got entwined to me from going to school with certain people. And I even wrote to her afterwards because she was all over me from CNN. And I wrote to her and I said, "Hey, Sarah," thinking, okay, we got a little bit of a somewhat bond. I said, "Hey, that's not right. That's not what I said." Nothing. She went dead.
Wow.
So if you're watching Sarah, there you go, because I forwarded her this. Don't
I
take
really
what
appreciate.
I say out of context. We know what we know.
Wow. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to join us and share this information. We've got some people with fake named accounts who are challenging what you're saying, but you've given us the photos. I think that it's pretty obvious to people who have been watching that there is a lot going on here that hasn't been explained. I want to thank you both for joining me.
I love the people that challenge me because they don't know what they're talking about. I love when they give an opinion. If you come experience this, you go to trauma counseling for 2 weeks. You go through what we went through. You go and lock your garage doors because you're aware. You go look over your back. You get worried. You take all the phone calls, but you know everything. Whoever's on there challenging me, you tell me how it is. That's what I got to say to that bull crap.
You're absolutely right.
Watch a dead guy get dragged out of your bleachers.
Yeah, you watch a dead guy.
Yeah, in your bleachers.
Yeah, don't tell me. I know.
And the thoughts of how close that was to being you and everything. It is a traumatic experience. I don't know what these people, who knows? This is social engineering and they never give it up. But I want to thank the two of you, Donna and Joe, for joining us today. Have a wonderful weekend and thanks very much for sharing this story. I'm going to stay in touch with you guys, and if either of us learn anything more, I'm so glad to have met you both. I'm really pleased that neither of you were injured, and thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thank you. Glad to have met you, and definitely want to stay in touch.
Yeah, and thanks to everybody who sponsors Crowdsource the Truth. If you like this kind of reporting and want to help Crowdsource the Truth carry on, please become a sponsor by visiting odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth. crowdsourcethetruth.substack.com or subscribestar.com or patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. I'll be back tonight at 7:30 with John Cullen. Don't miss that. Have a great day, you guys, and thanks for tuning in, everybody.